It's just not smart.
So the White House COVID task force having a press conference right now indicating, again, people with Delta variant have a higher viral load and are more likely to infect more people. Last week, the state updated me on hospitalizations and deaths between January 1st and July 28th. Ohio is reporting 245 breakthrough hospitalizations and 62 deaths among fully vaccinated individuals. Compare that to 17,210 hospitalizations and 6,828 deaths of the unvaccinated. So I don't know how you compare these numbers any more simply than that.
We were talking before the show. When you look at just that set of data, it is so obvious that the shot is your best protection against this. On that note, I just read a moment ago that the United States is now at 70% vaccinated, which is great. Unfortunately, we lag far behind that number here in Ohio. But here's my big question to you. You mentioned that hospitalizations and deaths in Ohio are down. But last week, we reported 3 straight days with cases over 1,000. That's considered a surge because our numbers were so low. Is it just a matter of time before we see those hospitalizations and deaths tick up?
We are seeing a slow uptick, but thank goodness it is a slow uptick. I think today the number was like 130 people hospitalized right now in the entire state.
Right.
The problem is we know that Delta is out there. We know it's surging a lot. And I think the other issue is that a lot of people are way more aware of it and they're getting tested. Billy, we were talking, Billy has a sneeze or a cough, they're going to get tested,
right.
And we're finding more cases. The good news though, you know, here in Cuyahoga County in Northeast Ohio, our vaccination rate is a bit higher. And don't forget, all of those people who've had COVID add to our herd immunity.
Sure, yeah.
So that's something really important to keep in mind as well.
And still waiting for the little kids to be able to get a shot too. That's the next step.
Hopefully end of September.
All right, fingers crossed, yeah.
Thanks, Mon.
Sure.
All right, next up on your feed at 5, Browns training camp continues in Berea. And while everyone is focused on what the players are doing on the field, I want to emphasize the story that's taking place off the field because that's what should have fans most excited about the future of this franchise. The Browns front office finalizing a deal over the weekend that will keep this guy, Nick Chubb, in an orange helmet through the 2023 season. And even though it makes Chubb a very wealthy man, this is a smart deal that allows flexibility for the Browns team payroll moving forward. This is nothing but a win. The voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan, joins us live now from Berea on What's New. Jimmy, step 1 of building a winner, acquire great talent. But step 2, and many will tell you this is the more difficult step in the process, is finding a way to keep all of that talent under the salary cap. And the Browns now appear to be doing step 2 just as well as they did step 1.
Absolutely. This is a tremendous day. This is a big story that Nick Chubb would get a contract extension, and the way he did it and the numbers that came out on the deal, and it is a team-friendly deal that falls into that category, and it gives the Browns room to get some other deals done to keep more of the talented players that they have started to accumulate on this roster. And the big thing, Jay, is this. Players want to stay here. They want to play here. They know this is a very good football team. This guy, he epitomizes professional player. He is everything. He is a great player. He is a great running back. He is a great person. He is a great teammate. He is the pride of the organization. Now, the numbers on the deal, total value $36.6 million. The contract is extended through the 2024 season. He'll be 29 years old if he plays through the end of the deal. The guaranteed money is $20 million. The signing bonus is $12 million. But as far as running backs is concerned, he took a lot less at times during some periods of the contract to get the deal done because he wants to be here. He loves this team, and he loves all of you, the fans.
I love it here in Cleveland. I love this team, love the coaches. I love the position that I'm in. I can't ask for anything better than where I'm at, and Cleveland's where I want to be, and I'm happy to be able to, get that done so I can be here for even more years. The next step is just getting better, building off of last year, the momentum we have, and continue to grow team chemistry and putting everything in place so we can go out there and, become an even better team.
All right, so now the question is, What is next? There's more business to be done, but now there's money to get that deal done in the way of who is going to be next in line. Could it be the quarterback Baker Mayfield? Remember, guaranteed through his 5th year, which would be this entire season and all of next season before they would have to get a deal done. But I know they're down the road in probably getting close to getting a long-term deal done with him. That's going to be a big one. Could it be Denzel Ward, the cornerback out of Ohio State? He's in the same class with Mayfield, guaranteed through a 5th year. Could it be the right guard Wyatt Teller, whose contract comes to an end at the end of this season? He would become a free agent, and the Browns love that offensive line, and so does Nick Chubb and Baker Mayfield and all of those people that play behind that offensive line. Do they want to keep those pieces in place? The answer is yes, and now they have a little bit more flexibility to get that done. Jay, I never, ever remember a player getting a contract extension and getting the overwhelming applause and support and glee that Nick Chubb's announcement of his contract being extended getting from the ownership, the top front office, the coaching staff, and all of his teammates. Never remember it happening. No. They are thrilled that he is going to be here for a long time.
Yeah, and they did it with no animus, no harsh language from either side. And here's the beauty of it. You touched on this, Jim, but this is an era in sports where it's all about me. Get what I can get as fast as I can get it. You need to build a championship team. You need that one guy who is selfless, who is willing to take less in the early years of a deal so they can fit some of these other stars into long-term deals. The Patriots had Tom Brady, who, as you know, Jim, was never the highest paid player on his team, despite the fact he's the best to ever do it. Nick Chubb is to the Browns what Tom Brady was to the Patriots. He's a selfless hero, and this paves the way for this franchise to be very good for the next 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and hopefully soon he'll have the 6 or 7 rings that Tom Brady has, too. It's certainly because that's the next step.
Yeah, from your lips to God's ears. Jim Donovan, live at Browns training camp. Jim, we'll see you again at 6. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Now we go from the gridiron to the world stage, where local athletes are still in it to win it in Tokyo.
Yes, they are. An Olympian from Olmsted Falls is sky high after competing in the pole vault this morning. Will Ewick joins us now with more on our Ohioans in Tokyo. And Will, what a great start for pole vaulter Katie Najat. I don't think it could have gone any better.
No, sky high, literally. She was sky high this morning, and what a fantastic score. Najat has to be feeling so good today after qualifying for the finals in women's pole vault, because it only took her 1 jump to do so. The Olmsted Falls native, Ashland University grad, came into Tokyo hot. She actually set an Olympic trials record for women's pole vault back in June. This morning, 2 groups filled with women trying to move on to the finals. The event actually halted due to rain for a bit, but before that rain delay, Najat, watch this, easily clears this 4.55-meter bar on her first try. That was it. That's all she needed to move on. Finals will be Thursday morning, 6:20 local time. Her family very excited for that one. Also track and field today. An Avia Battle current Ohio State student competed in the 200-meter semifinal. She clocked in at 23:02, landing her a 6th place spot for the heat. Unfortunately, it was 16th overall, though, so she will not advance. Battle now headed back to Columbus to finish up her degree in human development and family sciences. Also on his way back home, guys, this is one of the greatest stories that we've had at Olympics in a long time. Matt Ludwig, the pole vault alternate, got called days before going out to Tokyo to compete. Well, we spoke with him before he got on the plane to now come back to Cleveland. We'll have that coming up at 5:30.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
You know, one thing I love, I remember last year the Big Ten Indoor Track and Field Championships were at the Spire Institute.
Yeah.
We're seeing some of those athletes that competed in those indoor track and field events on the screens right now.
Matt was one that was up there. Somebody commented on my Facebook saying, hey, you know, I was worked out with him out at Spire.
We watched them. It was so fun. So that's just so cool to have that extra little connection.
Homegrown to a T.
Love it. Thanks
so
much, Will.
See you soon.
Well, coming up on the Olympic Zone with Jimmy tonight at 7:30, meet Joe Kovacs, who throws the shot put. He lives and trains in Columbus. And wait until you see who his coach is. And we'll also be catching up with pole vaulter Matt Ludwig, whose story to Tokyo, we've said it before, we'll say it again, it's pretty unbelievable.
Coming up next on What's New, major trouble for Spirit Airlines today after canceling hundreds of flights. We're going to tell you what the company is saying about the cancellation chaos and what you need to know if you have a flight booked out of Cleveland Hopkins.
Plus, who's that girl? The latest star to join TikTok, and used their most popular television show for the debut.
And we say our first hello of the show to our good friend Matt Wentz. Matt, I don't know that there could be a better day than the weather we had today. It was just perfect.
Absolutely. You know, I called the bosses this morning. I said, "You sure you need me today?" They said, "Just come on in. We have 2 minutes to fill during the 5." So we'll certainly do that. We'll fill it with all good news in the near term, but we do have heat, humidity, and storm chances making a return, as you'd expect. We'll take you through that. We'll also walk you through the month of August, what to expect coming up.
What's New is sponsored by Cleveland Clinic, celebrating 100 years of care.
Welcome back to What's New. Frustration was the name of the game at several airports overnight. According to Flight Tracker, almost 400 Spirit flights had to be canceled over the last 2 days.
Lots of vacation plans changed suddenly. But this is video from the Orlando airport early this morning where crowds waited for refunds and other help. Spirit said after weather and operational challenges, they proactively canceled flights across the network.
Flights were also canceled to and from Cleveland, Atlanta, LaGuardia, Texas, and Boston. If you're flying Spirit, be sure to check your email for status updates. And you're not seeing it there, but there were reports of a lot of hot tempers.
Ooh, yes.
As you can imagine, when you get your vacation plans thwarted, that's the worst possible scenario. The Orlando Sentinel wrote a piece, and they said it's kind of the perfect storm. They said that you've got reduced staffs nationwide. You have a lot of nationwide afternoon weather storms, particularly in the Florida area, and a huge spike in travel. So you put it all together, and you got a lot of cancellations.
And keep in mind, it wasn't just one airport, one flight. It was the entire company's flights.
Yeah.
So now you're not just trying to book with your gate agent. You're trying to book with your gate agent who's booking the entire plane, who's booking the 10 planes that come after you
it's
in
like
that
dominoes.
gate. It's terrible. So it's going to take several days to shake all this out. I guarantee you there's people who are stuck somewhere right now with
Definitely.
nowhere to go, and they don't know when they're going to be able to get back.
Patience is the key.
Yeah.
It's easy to say for us sitting here. When you're in an airport and you're
Forget
delayed,
it. Yeah.
patience are hard to
Just
come
get
by.
me to a hotel
That's
and
it.
make sure that they have wine available. 'Cause that's pretty much all I'd be like, fine, I'll wait. Just let's get this worked out. Boy, I got to tell you, Matt, that is some tough stuff. When you throw weather into the mix with aviation, there's a lot of problems that can come around.
Yeah, that sounds like a mess. I thought our home was a mess with all the kids and all that, but, getting into traveling, I think it's best just to stay at home and close the blinds. You don't run into any problems that way.
You're never late, no delays.
Yeah, no delays.
You know
It's
how
great.
I love to tie the weather word into the story preceding weather.
Right.
And so today your weather word is turbulence. But honestly, I don't know how you're going to fit that into this forecast because, quite frankly, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
I mean, 5 stars.
There's no bumps in the forecast, not
No,
even the temperatures.
nothing.
They're just going up this week.
So good luck.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We just started August yesterday. Happy August, everybody. Feels more like fall around here, right? I always like to walk us through the month ahead in terms of the numbers. And here are the numbers on the month of August. We start with an average high of 83. That's what it is today. By the end of the month, not much of a slide. We still average 80 degrees. You notice the lows pretty similar, pretty comfortable. We do average about 3 inches of rainfall. It is the 5th rainiest month. But if it's any indication, July wasn't one of our rainier months, and we certainly had over 7 inches, almost 8 inches of rain last month. And you notice I put it in small print because it's not the best of news if you like the sunlight, which most of us do. An hour and 13 minutes is what we lose in terms of sunlight on the month. Our sunsets will still be in the 8 o'clock hour by the end of the month. It's rated 8 o'clock, so we're losing about 2 minutes a day. Cherish it while we have it. Look at the fair weather cumulus today. Clear near the lake shore. You get a little heating from the land. Bubbles up. Beautiful clouds this afternoon, and you can see the shadow of the lake where it is clear. High pressure is in charge. Very quiet weather across the Great Lakes. That cold front brought us a reinforcing shot of cool air over the course of the weekend. But you noticed it was hazy yesterday. It was hazy the last couple days. We had a pretty decent amount of atmospheric smoke back in the area. That front has cleared us out. Great visibility to this evening, upwards of 10 miles for most of us. But look off towards our north and the west. Here's the smoke forecast the next 2 days. There are still real decent fires burning out in western Ontario that whenever we get in this northwest flow, we'll spray that smoke back in. So we are going to become hazier over the next couple days. Not a lot of rain to wash that out either. Temperatures very comfortable, upper 70s to near 80 degrees this afternoon. We've got a light wind off the lake. It's going to be a perfect evening because dew points are in the 40s and 50s. That is very dry air. You can barely feel it. And it's dry all the way down to the southeast. This is where our heat is right now along the Gulf Coast. But look off towards the northwest. The heat's relaxed out there, but it's starting to build, and that is what's going to head our way. Here's your temperature departure from average over the next 5 days. Notice how it starts to warm up across the northern plains. This bubble of heat will slide eastward as we get into the weekend, and that will bring some warmer temperatures here. If you missed summer, that's coming back this weekend. In terms of the forecast tonight, National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast clear. We'll be back into the 50s, a very comfortable bonfire-like night. You notice lots of sunshine tomorrow. It's not till Wednesday that we increase the rainfall chances just a little. There's a wave off of a system down to our south and the east. May bring a little turbulence in terms of some of that rain around here as we get into the afternoon. Someone asked me why I kick. They haven't been watching. They just think I kick. Weather word. I don't know where that came from, though. Union Hill Mortgage 7-day forecast. Look at the heat building on into the weekend. Next chance of rain again Wednesday and then Saturday. And temps back into the 90s. We'll be right back.
knowing that.
Well, everybody, today's pop break is a sobering reminder that celebrities are people who often have to take their problems very publicly.
Yeah, sometimes that's very tough. Kara Cotton joins us now with more on two women who are battling cancer, something private for most of us,
for sure,
unless you're a public person.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We start today with sad news. Jane Marchevsky, who wowed us all with her America's Got Talent audition back in June, has announced that she's withdrawing from the competition. The 30-year-old Zanesville native shared in a post on social media this morning. She's also known as Nightbird. She revealed that she was battling cancer during her audition. She confirmed in the post that since her golden buzzer moment, her health has taken a turn for the worst, and that the fight with cancer is demanding all of her energy and attention. With her being unable to move forward with the competition, she closed her post saying, "Life doesn't always give breaks to those that deserve it, but we knew that already." And longtime comedian Kathy Griffin has announced that she has lung cancer. The 60-year-old shared the news in a post on Instagram where she also revealed that she was heading into surgery to have half of her left lung removed. According to Griffin, her doctors believe that it's in stage 1 and confined to only her left lung. In her post, she wrote, she hopes to be back running around as usual in a month or less. We're wishing both of those women the best of luck. Switching gears now, Zooey Deschanel is the new girl again, but this time it's on TikTok. The actress made her debut on the social media platform Friday with a recreation of the New Girl intro. Deschanel opens the video singing the theme song and continues through 3 outfit changes before she appears in a picture frame, answering the question the theme song asks, who's that girl? Just like the original.
Oh, it's me, Zoe. Hi, I'm on TikTok.
And on the live music front, Coachella has announced the headliner for its 2023 festival, and R&B sensation Frank Ocean is the guy. Now, Travis Scott and Rage Against the Machines will take on this year's upcoming show, but we'll be having to look forward to the Desert Festival this year.
Something's happening again. All the concerts and all the big events coming back.
I'm a little concerned after Lollapalooza this past weekend. Those crowds were incredible.
Yeah.
But fingers crossed that, we'll be on the other side of things next year.
Definitely. All right. Thanks, Kira.
So. Sure thing.
Appreciate it. Well, coming up at 5:30 for us, a look at Chardon native Matt Ludwig's journey to the Olympics. That started with a phone call, you'll remember, and ended with the pole vault, Matt, in Tokyo. Just a couple hours later. It was incredible.
It really was. And deciding to compete, how Simone Biles is feeling ahead of her first competition in Tokyo in a while after working on her mental health issues.
This is what's clicking in Cleveland today, what people are saying about Simone Biles. Okay. Yes. Yep.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Bottom of the hour, time to get you caught up now on 3 things you need to know. The CDC has now placed much of Northeast Ohio in the orange category. That means substantial transmission. Ashley County is now red. That means high transmission. And Summit and Ashtabula counties remain moderate. 3 News' Monica Robbins spoke with Mark Adams. He's with the Lorain County Health Department. He said we need to look at the CDC map as a lighthouse, saying that it's a warning to all of us that the virus is out there and spreading more. But we also need to keep an eye on our hospitalization rates, and they're still pretty low, at least for now. Almost all of those hospitalized are unvaccinated.
Well, tomorrow is a big day. It is election day for some voters in Cleveland. It's eastern suburbs and parts of Akron. They're going to pick out who fills the vacant seat in the 11th Congressional District. You may remember Marcia Fudge vacated that seat earlier this year to become President Biden's housing secretary. The Democratic frontrunners are Cuyahoga County Councilwoman Chantel Brown and former state senator Nina Turner. The race has drawn national attention and millions of dollars because of it. It is going to be viewed as a contest between Brown's support of President Biden's policies and Turner's support of the more progressive wing of the Democratic Party. Now, given the heavy Democratic makeup of the district, the winner tomorrow will most likely become the next representative in November.
And the Cleveland Browns continue training camp workouts ahead of the 2021 season, and everyone in Berea was really on cloud 9 today after news broke over the weekend of Nick Chubb's contract extension. It will keep him in a Browns uniform through at least the 2023 season. There's an option for the 2024 season. The 3-year extension guarantees him $20 million in salary, but the total value is $36 million. So it has an average annual salary of $12 million per year. But much of that is in the final year of his deal. And Betsy, that gives the Browns flexibility to fit in some of these other big name players that they'll also need to sign to stay at the top of the food chain. And on that, we welcome you back to What's New on this absolutely gorgeous Monday afternoon. I hope you had a chance to enjoy some of it outside. I also hope you enjoyed the weekend. Nice weather over the weekend for many of us, too. With Betsy Kling, I'm Jay Crawford.
We have more great days coming up. Matt's going to join us again in a few minutes. He's cooking on some graphics over there right now. He'll have the latest on the forecast straight ahead.
Well, what a few days it has been for Chardon native Matt Ludwig. Thinking he'd missed the Olympics after finishing 4th at the Olympic trials in the pole vault, Ludwig got the call. His status was going to change from alternate to active after another American vaulter tested positive for COVID-19. So what does he do? He quickly hops a flight to Tokyo, and within hours, he was on the world stage. 3 News spoke with Matt after the competition was complete.
I went from worrying about how I was going to move out of my apartment the next morning to worrying how I'm going to get across the world and compete in this competition.
It was a quick whirlwind of a trip for Matt Ludwig, the Team USA pole vault alternate called to Tokyo to fill in, and arriving with less than a day till competition.
Trying to understand what it's like to drop everything, travel across the world, and try to compete my best in the sport's biggest stage. That was a bit of a crazy challenge.
A challenge due to little sleep, and sleep secured on airplane seats and terminals at that. The host of logistics to rush through, and a 13-hour time difference. The window was so tight, he didn't even know what he was wearing to compete in.
I didn't even have a uniform until 1 hour before the bus left for the track, and so we had to kind of throw a couple things together and get it sorted, but we sure did.
Through the whole ordeal of getting to Tokyo, the gravity of competing in the Olympics didn't really set in until competition time.
Just looking around, that's when everything started to kick in, that I realized where I was and what I was doing. And honestly, knowing that I was going to pole vault is probably the most comfortable I'd been the whole trip.
Despite everything, Matt got off to a great start, clearing the first 2 heights, but he just couldn't get over that 5.65 meter mark.
And honestly, I felt great. I think I was jumping well, and my body had sort of just fatigued a little faster than I was too. My recovery wasn't happening how I would have liked, and so eventually those things caught up to me when they mattered.
Still, not bad for someone boxing up to move just a few days prior, and an experience he wouldn't trade.
Taking a step back and really looking at everything, what I did was not easy. It was a huge ask for me to try to step up and accomplish that goal, but I couldn't be more proud and grateful to have the opportunity to try it, and so for that I'm grateful.
Now, Matt says he did get a chance to walk around Olympic Village a bit as a friend of his, a Polish pole vaulter, took him around after the competition. But after that, it was sleep and then get back on a plane to come back to Cleveland. And you thought you had a busy weekend.
Yeah, exactly right. So now, Will, the focus for Northeast Ohio turns to another pole vaulter. Katie Najat has advanced to the Olympic finals. Her medal hope still very much alive there. She jumps later this week. She's currently world #1 with that 4.95 meter vault at the Olympic trials. We could have another medal for Northeast Ohio.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have high hopes for Katie Najat. They have some watch parties set up over in Olmsted Falls for her. I talked to you about it a little bit earlier, Jay. She cleared the mark to qualify with just one quick jump. She spent more time in the tracksuit today than she did actually jumping. So I think a lot of people looking forward to Thursday morning.
Yeah, it's nice to get it out of the way, get that finals ticket punched, and we'll all watch with great interest later this week. Will Ewick. Thanks, Will.
Yep.
Well, we move from the track to the gymnastics arena, where Simone Biles is getting a lot of support as she prepares to return to competition for her balance beam individual routine tomorrow. Our digital anchor Stephanie Haney joins us live with reaction to her return online. Steph, I have a feeling a lot of folks are happy about this.
They are very happy about it, Betsy. A lot of buzz around Simone Biles returning to compete for that last possible event that she qualified for, as you said, the individual balance beam finals. The Today Show's Hoda Kotb is leading the charge for her cheerleaders, as she has been, tagging Simone Biles and posting, "Can't wait and see you there," with a bunch of heart and American flag emojis. And we have our fair share of people online showing support for Northeast Ohio native Olympian Katie Najat, like Brad Hardig, who is absolutely thrilled an Olmsted native is in the finals and could medal in pole vaulting at the Tokyo Olympics. And now, this is a performance that is truly worth a gold medal. Check out little Chloe of the Jessen family. You see her there? She is mimicking each movement from Team USA's Sunisa Lee during her floor gymnastics routine. Her family's Instagram account. But there she is with the walkover. Oh, so great. She is doing this with every single floor routine. Those moves are so impressive. My favorite part's coming up right here.
Whoa.
That twirl was so perfectly synced. I can't get over it. Her family's Instagram account, they call her a feisty toddler. And she certainly lives up to it, little Chloe Jessen.
There are so many little girls right now watching these events who all of a sudden are like getting new dreams. Like, oh, that'd be fun. I'd like to try that. And it's not just gymnastics. It's soccer and gymnastics and track and swimming and everything.
And surfing,
awesome.
all the new ones.
Surfing,
Yes.
you're right. Although a lot of us don't have, the ability to go out and catch a wave here on Lake Erie.
That's true.
I
do
love that
surf,
video.
though.
I love that video because you're watching an Olympic dream hatch. What becomes of it? Maybe 15 years from now, when she's competing in an Olympics somewhere, they'll roll that clip of video in and say, this is where it all started. That's how it starts.
They will.
Love it. Thanks.
Steph, thanks. Still ahead on what's new, our Olympic coverage continues. We're going to go live to Tokyo with the latest gold for Team USA, and we'll tell you which sport is set to battle for the bronze medal.
And you do not want to miss this Show Us Something Good. How some kids got the chance to work on their reading skills with the help of some adoptable pets. What a perfect pairing, most certainly. Matt Wentz, talk about a perfect pairing. Sunshine and comfortable temperatures. Boom.
I thought you meant our weather team. It's like that's
Wonder Team. Wonder Twin Powers. That's taking it old school that way.
Yeah, it's looking fantastic. CSU Skycam. Jay, I'll tell you, wax off your surfboard because Lake Erie tomorrow. I've got your forecast for you. Waves are going to be on the light side. Foot or less. That's not going to do it. Water temperature up to 76 offshore Cleveland. It's pretty nice for a dip, especially with no recent heavier rainfalls. We've got your forecast that includes heat, and we're going to take a look at precip around here. Do you need to water your garden and lawn? We'll let you know coming up.
The Summer Games Medal Count is sponsored by Dollar Bank. Let's get you there.
You know, I hear that music and I see the medal count, and I can't help but remind folks that on Thursday will be the third installment of the What's New Olympics. Third and final installment. We're tied at 1-1.
I've been
not quite sure what's going to happen.
I don't know about you, Betsy, but we need to be packing our smoothies in so we take this. This is a big one. It's tied. I mean, you're right.
I think we need divine intervention. Let's put it that way. We need some help.
Probably. Just make sure you get lots of sleep Wednesday night, unlike the last 2 weeks, all right?
Not saying I was a little tired.
Not saying it was a fair showing, but anyway. Speaking of fair showing, Summit County Fair just wrapped up its county fair season around here, and boy, is it looking great so far this week. We typically get these bouts of thunderstorms early August, and we don't have any of those this week, at least nothing widespread. We're going to keep this quiet pattern going. Temperatures tonight back into the 50s, clear skies, calm winds. Soak it in, everybody. We're, 4 months away from December around here, but looking pretty good. Make sure my battery's still working. Still good. All right. These things last a while. You look at the fair weather cumulus clouds we've had down to the south. Just picture perfect day. We're clear up near the lake shore. The lake has a stabilizing effect to the atmosphere, so not a lot of clouds over the lake. You get them once you get inland. But high pressure is in charge across the Great Lakes. But down to the south, this is where the activity is going to be over the next couple of days. The front that went through us and cleared us out and brought this beautiful weather is kind of stuck down to the south. So we've got heavier rain along the Gulf Coast. That heavy rain over the next couple of days is going to slide up the eastern seaboard as we look ahead with our national Zymarn forecast. You can see how the bulk of the rain stays away from us, but the models are agreeing there's going to be a little wave of energy that comes off of that. That may spark some isolated showers around here on Wednesday, and then that moisture kind of holds over us on Thursday. So not a washout by any means, but can't rule out some stray showers. Bulk of the rain heads east. Then you see things start to get active off towards our west. But in terms of precip, we don't have a lot of it coming this week. You can see we've got kind of this donut hole over the Ohio Valley. So it is going to be dry this week. Meanwhile, the Carolinas, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain. If you have perhaps vacation plans or your neighbor's going on vacation, they're like, pulling out with their boat. They're going to get soaked down in the Carolinas over the next couple days. So our at-home precip chances, not a whole lot. We've got a couple 30s in there, but overall, no widespread rain coming in here. And the latest numbers, courtesy of the Almanac, that bottom number is the one you want to see. That's on the year, our deficit in terms of rainfall. That's pretty good to be in August and have numbers that are really close to average. Only deficit really of concern is near Mansfield. It's been a little bit drier down in the Ashland County and Richland County area. That's since January, though, so this is kind of stretched out. Big picture, though, that heat will start to return from the west. You see how that trough of low pressure out towards the east finally breaks down. That will bring the heat in here this weekend. How long does that stick around? Well, still yet to be seen, but the Climate Prediction Center saying we've got a real good chance of warmth across the Great Lakes. I would agree, and that is reflected in our Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. 80s over the next couple days, and we're back up into the 90s by the weekend. In terms of rainfall, again, just slight chances Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Saturday before that heat really builds back in. But overall, we're talking pretty hot forecast about 6 or 7 days from here. Jay?
Right.
Betsy?
All right, thanks so much. Now I'll let Jay talk.
Hey, it's time for Show Us Something Good. You're going to like this. The Fairport Harbor Public Library put on a program with Lake Humane Society. Here's what they do. Kids actually read to shelter pets. Take a look at these pictures posted on the Lake Humane Society Facebook page. The shelter added that the animals loved the individual attention they got through the library's summer program. And I think this is a win-win. I mean, kids get to practice their reading, they get to spend time around pets, and the pets get undivided attention, and I love that picture right there. It's almost as if the cats are dialed into that story. This dog's drifting a bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
They do that sometimes.
It's all about the tone, right? That's the fun part. Of course, it's a no judgment type situation,
right.
So they're not being immediately corrected, which is always kind of helpful. They can figure stuff out on their own.
Very fun.
Super cute. All right, up next for us, we're going to tell you where former Animal Planet Treehouse Masters are building a Treetop classroom right here in Ohio. It's to help kids learn more about nature.
Okay, and can I tell you that I want to build one of those?
Yeah, you can. We'll grow a tree. You can build it at our yard.
We should do a Channel 3 treehouse.
That would be all right.
And Soccer Shocker, hear from Team USA's women's soccer team as they miss out on their chance for a gold medal. That's coming up next.
there's a pretty neat project that's happening high up in the trees, all with a mission to help kids learn more about birds and nature.
Our Dominic Ferrante gives us a bird's eye view from the Ohio Bird Sanctuary located in Mansfield.
The Ohio Bird Sanctuary serves as a place for birds to come and be revitalized back into nature.
Primary mission is education and having people engage and have a passion about nature, but we also run a rehabilitation facility for injured and orphan birds.
They also hold summer camps and education courses, as well as providing simply a moment of zen.
A lot of people will just come day after day, and it's very soothing.
After years of planning, the organization decided it was time to take things off the ground and into the trees. To help them with that, they contacted the Nelson brothers.
So around 3 years ago, we contacted the Nelson Treehouse and Supply, said, this is what we're thinking about doing. Are you interested in, helping us figure this out?
Some of you may remember the brothers from the TV show Treehouse Masters. While they aren't filming anymore, they still construct these masterpieces.
With the TV show, we kind of learned trial by fire, if you will.
The treehouse will serve as a place for the public to come, as well as a classroom. So not only can you learn on the ground, now you can get a bird's eye view as well.
This treehouse in particular is super special. It's a classroom, and so that alone is so special. Get kids in the trees, seeing the forest.
Constructing the treehouse precisely is key as to not disturb the habitat it's placed into. In Mansfield, Ohio, Dominic Ferrante, 3 News.
Up next, it'll be the final competition in the Olympics for Simone Biles as she decides she's going to compete one more time. We have a live report from Tokyo with the details on her decision.
And still ahead, the 11th congressional race is down to the wire. What you need to know before tomorrow's special election. And in today's pop quiz, what year were the first gold, silver, and bronze medals given out at the Olympics? Was it 1896, 1904, 1910? We'll have the answer on the flip.
Pitches. 6:30 tomorrow. Al, how are you? The polls open at 6:30 tomorrow morning and close at 7:30 p.m. Early voting at the Coward County Board of...
And just use the tag and cover it with video. Yes, I do, Al. Mic check, Monica, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3.
Tell her, Monica.
Yeah, I'm here. Mic check. I'm walking out right now. Sorry, Al. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Laura Queso's Mike. Thanks for joining us tonight. Oh, before the break, you peanut gallery over there, hush.
We asked you what year were the first gold, silver, and bronze medals given out at the Olympics? The answer is 1904.
All right.
How about that? Now you know. The medals were actually given out. I don't know if they did like participation ribbons before that. Or...
No, that wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing
That's
yet.
a thing now.
Yeah, that's it. That came much later. Team USA is staking its claim on the podium in the final week of these Olympic Games. And this morning, Simone Biles announced some big news.
Yeah.
She will be returning to competition.
So many people are excited just to see her back in competition. NBC's Liz McLaughlin is live from Tokyo with more on that. Liz?
Last chance to compete, and she's taking it, and that's after a number of setbacks over the past week, withdrawing from all of those finals that she's been eligible for, the team to those individual events. But now the decorated Olympian saying she's ready to go for gold again.
First test for her right here.
Simone Biles will soon be back in action. 1 week after withdrawing from the team final when she started suffering from a loss of air awareness that can be dangerous for gymnasts, Biles is feeling better and plans to compete in the balance beam Tuesday.
She's ready to go out there and do this.
Oh my gosh! Redemption for teammate Jade Carey. After a stumble and 8th place finish in the vault competition Sunday, Carey wowed on the floor to take gold.
I feel like all my hard work has paid off, and this is all that I've ever dreamed of.
In the baseball quarterfinals, the U.S. fell to host country Japan in the bottom of the 10th.
And that is that.
But still has a shot at a medal.
Big moment.
Another loss in soccer.
Fleming for Canada scores.
The U.S. women's national team heads to the bronze medal game after Canada sunk a winning penalty shot.
It's not the color we want, but there's still a medal on the line, so that's a huge thing.
The U.S. stacking up the hardware in other sports, a silver in wrestling for Adeline Gray. Sarah Robles repeats a bronze win in weightlifting.
Yes!
And a fast finish earned silver for Kenny Harrison in the 100-meter hurdles.
Feels amazing, all the hard work that I put in for those 12 seconds, and to be bringing back a silver, I couldn't be happier.
Athletes working a lifetime for their moment of glory.
And the U.S. women's water polo team also going for glory today in just a few hours. You know, we've got to show you some gear. We've got the water polo ball here. They'll be taking on Canada in those quarterfinals. And we've got a cap, too. You'll see them all wearing these caps. It's for ear protection, but also so they can see their opponents in the water. It's a very physical game, very fun to watch. Team USA going after their 3rd consecutive gold at the Olympics. Live in Tokyo. I'm Liz McLaughlin. Betsy and Jay, back to you guys.
Liz, thanks. Fast pace and high scoring. It's very fun to watch. I have to ask you, an athlete recently had a political protest on the podium. That's stirring up some buzz. What can you tell us about that?
Lots of controversy around the ability to have political protests at the games. The IOC has some strict rules about that. They loosened them up slightly right before the games started, but they basically ban anything that is disruptive to play, and that means a ban in any political protests on the podium. But Raven Saunders, a shot putter who won a medal recently, threw up an X on the podium, and that was supposed to represent the intersection of those oppressed. She is Black, she's an LGBT community member, and she said she was speaking for those communities when she did that gesture on the podium. Now, there's no word yet of what the penalty will be or if there will be consequences from that. That's the first political protest of that type we've seen here at the Olympics so far. Betsy, Jay?
I did see afterwards, she said, come try to take my medal.
I wouldn't.
I'm not going to be the one to do that. All right, Liz, thank you very much. And thank you so much for watching. We're out of time for now, but back tomorrow at 5, and we hope to see you then.
What matters most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, the final hours. The candidates in the 11th District congressional race make their last push before tomorrow, Election Day. Also, COVID controversy.
It's just something that we're going to put the health and safety of our students and staff first, and that's why we follow the science in this district.
A local school district wrestles with the uncertainty of the pandemic as the virus spreads, weeks before students go back to class. Travel troubles. Frustrations grow as summer vacations are ruined by flight delays and cancellations. We'll examine what's causing this travel nightmare. And back in action. Simone Biles set to return to gymnastics competition. But she's not the only one making Olympic headlines as more local athletes take center stage.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Queso. Tonight, the sprint to the finish line in the 11th Congressional District race.
The two leading candidates, Nina Turner and Chantel Brown. And as Mark Namick tells us, the race is too close to call as both hopefuls today offered voters their closing campaign pitches.
13 Democrats are on the ballot, but only Cuyahoga County Councilwoman Chantel